What you're about to see are passionate, dedicated, and trained people practicing and preparing to enter an extreme sporting event that may change their lives. Do not try this on your own without necessary experience and supervision.
Breathe in, breathe out. This moment's what it's all about. Born to be great, your goal awaits. Don't hesitate, accelerate.
Set for the race, aim to give it all I got. Mind is set, gonna reach the highest spot. Working hard in order to fulfill my goal. Nothing can stop me from getting what I'm going for. That's being great, I was working till it's late, so I won't hesitate. Gotta get to first place, hands on the golden plate. I'll concentrate, won't hit the brake, just move forward, accelerate. Welcome to Accelerate. Last week, 7-year-old motocross rider Jamie Lee Wasang raced all the way to her very first podium finish. Today, we meet 15-year-old rock climber Alyssa Meyer, who participates in the Western Cape Provincial Lead Climbing Competition. Indoor rock climbing is an activity in which participants climb up, down, or across artificial walls using the mounted holds. The goal is to reach the summit of the wall without falling. Rock climbing helps build muscle, strengthens your core, balance and flexibility, and is a great mental workout. Let's meet this Accelerate.
My name's Alyssa Meyer, I'm 15 years old and I'm a rock climber. I live in Cape Town with my family, with my older sister, my younger brother, and my parents. My sister had a birthday party at City Rock, and I was at the birthday party and I fell in love with it, so I went and became part of the gym and started with the term program for kids, and that's how I got into climbing.
I think Alyssa's talent started when she was born. When she was very little, we used to find her climbing whatever she could find. So she'd always be climbing the top of the trellis doors. She'd be climbing trees. I once found her on the roof of the house. She'd climbed out a window and there she was sitting. So she always had a need to climb. So I think it's just a God-given talent that she's had since she was little.
I have 3 inspirations. The first one is Brooke Rabbitoo. She's one of the strongest youth climbers in the country. My next inspiration is Margot Hayes. She has climbed some of the hardest grades in the world. My third inspiration is Alex Honnold, who is one of the best free solo climbers in the world, and he teaches me to persevere and try my best. My future aspirations in the sport are to be part of the Olympics one day and to be one of the top elite climbers climbing in the World Cup circuits. There is a lot of basic language and terminology in the sport. The simple basic ones are a belayer, who is the person who holds the other end of the rope and keeps you safe while you lead climbing. Then beta is the way that you climb up the wall, like the movements that you do. And then there's the terminology for the holds, so jugs, crimps, slopers, pinches, and volumes. Some of the risks are mainly to do with injuries. You can get a fractured bone in your body, you can tear ligaments, you can get concussions if you fall really, really badly. I tore 3 or 4 ligaments in my ankle last year. I only got back onto the bouldering wall 2.5 months after my injury.
The safety aspect of climbing is quite concerning. I've generally found that climbing is an inherently dangerous sport. You know, there are great concerns, but as a parent who's been very involved in it and actually learnt how the sport works and actually participated in it, you learn how to minimize the risks.
You can avoid getting injured by warming up properly and warming down properly, and then also by going to injury prevention classes and by falling correctly. My coach is Delaney. She's been my coach practically since day one. We have a really close relationship. She knows how I feel on the climbs, and she knows my strengths and weaknesses, and it helps me train because I know she'll be there to help me.
Alyssa has been climbing for a while now, about 4 years. What makes her good at the sport is not that she's a natural athlete when it comes to this type of sport like climbing. But for Alyssa, what's made her so good is her dedication and commitment to the training. So if I give her any instruction, she will follow it through. If I ask her to do stuff outside of the coaching and training session with me, she goes and does it. So it really is a perfect example of how somebody who works hard can do better than those who have natural talent.
I spend usually between 4 to 5 days a week training, and the training is usually between 2 to 3 hours. So I end up spending about between 9 to 12 hours training per week.
Some of this equipment we use for conditioning. It depends on the day and what we're busy training. We don't do weights fully because we're too young, but we do use some of the other ones for training legs and core.
I am currently preparing for the Western Cape Climbing Youth Provincial Lead Climbing Competition. The event's very important because it's a stepping stone on the way to nationals.
This next upcoming event is the Provincial Lead and Top Rope Climbing Competition. It's where Western Cape selects our provincial team to go to the nationals. It's one of the big deal events specifically for our province, and I'm very excited because Alyssa is one of our strongest athletes in the entire country in her category. So I have every faith that she will do well in this event, and hopefully she'll travel up to Joburg at the end of June for the nationals.
After the break, Alyssa gears up and prepares to reach the summit. Okwalo mzuzu ungasilandela kwi-Facebook page yethu. Usixelele ukuba udlala uphi umdlalo. Get involved and we could be following your journey next. Welcome back to Accelerate. Namhlanje silandela i-rock climber eneminyaka elishumi elinesihlanu Elisa Meyer. Uzokuthatha inxaxheba ku-Western Cape Provincial Lead Climbing Competition. Ingaba uzokufika phezulu okanye uzokohluleka? Let's check it out.
The gear and equipment is slightly different for indoors and outdoors. Indoors, you need a harness and shoes and a chalk bag and a rope. There's always a belay in lead climbing. It depends with speed. It can be on auto belay or it can be a man belayer, which would be 2 people belaying because it's so fast. An auto belay is a device which you clip on you, and it has a rope that goes up, and it's electronic, so the rope gets brought up as you go up. So then when you fall, you just go down nicely and peacefully. The correct method to fall is to land on your feet with a slight bounce in your knees and then roll down onto your back. Some of the basic rules of the sport are, firstly, you have to do all the safety checks in the beginning to make sure you don't get injured. Otherwise, there are 3 disciplines: lead, speed, and bouldering. Each of them have slightly different set of rules, but I will be telling you about the lead rules. So the lead rules are you have to have your harness on properly and then all the safety checks for lead. So make sure the knot's a figure of 8 and that it's tight and goes through both loops. And then once you get onto the wall, you have to clip every single draw with the rope the right way, otherwise you can get disqualified. And if the clip passes your foot, then you can also get disqualified because it could be very dangerous if you fall and the clip's past your foot and you haven't clipped it. But the main point is to get to the top of the wall, or the highest that you can, because that will let you win. Today I am competing in the Western Cape Provincial Lead Climbing Competition. I am nervous for the competition, but I am also excited. The climbs look really fun, and I would like to win, but I'm also happy with my friends winning. I will be climbing 3 different climbs: the first qualifier, the second qualifier, and the final. For every round, the scorekeeper have a copy of the route circled to keep track of my holds so that they can tally up my score at the end. I prepare myself for the competition. Once I put on my harness and my climbing shoes, I head over to my first route. This course is a grade 25, and on this course I'm only allowed to use the black holds. I'm looking at the climb and I'm trying to figure out the best way to get up it. And then there's also the nerves and the excitement to get onto the wall. I start on the taped hold. I reach up for my next hold. I get a high foot to reach my next hold. I reach up and clip my first quick draw. I'm feeling pretty confident at this point. I reach up for my next hold and position myself so that I can clip the next clip. I get my second clip with ease. At this point, I'm fumbling a bit because the handhold that I'm holding is quite bad and my foot is in quite a weird position, so it'll be hard to move up. I put the rope in my mouth so that I could clip the draw, but then I realized I was in a weird position, so I dropped the rope and got into a better position so that I could clip the quick draw. I put the rope in my mouth and reached for the rest of the rope so that I can clip the draw easily. I mash my hold and move on towards the volume. I match on the volume and shake my arms out so that I don't get pumped. And then I assess the next move. I move up towards the next hold, but I feel unstable, so I go back down. I try again and realize this isn't going to work, so I have to use the safer way. I take the safest option so that I don't fall off and can conserve energy at the same time so I can get to the top. I use the volume to move up instead of doing the mantle, and I clip my next draw. I position both my feet on the two volumes and I shake out. If I don't shake out, my arms will get more tired, and if they get tired, I might have a problem higher up holding the holds. I chalk up again and blow on my fingers so that I have the right amount of chalk on them. My heart rate picks up and I know I'm getting a little bit tired, but I have to still continue on. I clip my next draw and reach for the next hold on the volume. I pull the rope up and clip my next clip. I'm feeling good because I'm getting to the end of the hardest part of the climb and it'll be easy from there. My fingers are feeling good, but they are starting to get a little bit tired. The course is getting a little bit easier, but I am more tired, so it feels the same. I clip my next clip, and now I'm heading into the roof. From now on, I really have to concentrate more because when you go into the roof, it puts more strain on your arms. I clip the next draw, which is in the roof sequence. I'm in the roof and it's getting really hard for me because I am really tired now. I clip my next draw and I'm feeling tired. I'm one hold away from the top of this course. I reach the final hold and I clip the last clip, and then straight afterwards I clip the anchors. I'm feeling very relieved that I finished the climb. I'm feeling good about the course. I finished it, so I'm really happy. I score the full points of the course. I take a good rest before my second climb. I'm thinking about the route and how I'm going to climb it. The second route is my second qualifier. It's the grade 26. For this course, I'm only allowed to use the yellow holds. I walk up to the wall and position my hands on the first two holds. As I move with precision. I make sure I don't touch any of the other holds and only use the yellow holds. My first draw was pre-clipped for me because of safety, so I didn't have to clip it myself. I get a high heel hook so I can move my hands and look at the route. I launch myself up to get my next hold. I'm smearing the wall with my one foot because there is no appropriate grip. I bounce my hand up and then I match the grip. I am struggling a little bit because the holds are very hard to hold on to. I hold the wall and look around the wall to make sure I haven't missed any grips, and then because I haven't missed any grips, I carry on with the route and clip the next draw. This climb leads around the other side of the corner where the holds are more scattered out. At this point, I'm feeling confident because the technical part of the climb is over. I clip my next draw and continue on. I start moving up the course more quickly because it is slightly easier. I clip one of my draws. And then I clip the next draw on a big hold. I move into a slightly strange part, which I'm not 100% sure how to do. I couldn't figure out what to do, and I wasn't sure how to clip the clip because I was in a really awkward position. So I tried to move up, but I fell.
Oh man, Elisa has lost the grip and fallen off the wall. Ingaba oku kungehlisa ithuba lakhe lokungena kuzwelonke? Masimbone emva kwekhefu. Okwalomzuzu ungasilandela kwi-Facebook page yethu. Usixelele ukuba udlala uphi umdlalo. Get involved and we could be following your journey next. Welcome back to Accelerate. Phambi kokuthatha ikhefu simbonile uElisa xa enyuka okwesibini engakwazi ukhwela udonga. Ngethamsanqa usenalo elinye ithuba lesibini lokuba akhwele. Ingaba uElisa uza kukwazi ukufika phezulu? Let's find out.
I have just fallen off during my second climb. I'm feeling a little bit sad that I fell off, but it's okay, because I still have the final climb to do. I went to my dad because I was telling him why I fell. He told me it was okay and that I still have one more climb left. Now it is time for my third climb. I wait patiently for my turn on the next climb. It is my turn and I make my way up to the wall. I am feeling a bit nervous and a bit confident at the same time. This climb is going to be very different because it is a lot harder and it's on a different wall. It is a grade 27. I asked the scorekeepers about the clips that I'm allowed to use. For this course, I'm only allowed to use the orange holds. I am ready for my final climb. I begin the climb with a high step off my right foot. The belayer has her hands up for safety reasons. Since the first clip isn't clipped for me, she stands there with her hands up, so if I fall, she'll catch me in her hands. In this climb, the holds are more far apart. I clip my first jaw, and then straight afterwards I clip my second jaw again because I can reach it. I have both my hands on the volume. I reach up for my next hold, but I notice that it is very far away. I come back down to the 2 holds on the volume, and I try and figure out what I can do to reach the next hold. My arms are slowly beginning to burn as the lactic acid builds up in them from the tiring moves. I go for my second attempt and I still can't reach it. This makes me a little bit nervous because I don't want to fall off. I use a lot of momentum and force and just try push for the hold, and I reach it. I move off the volume into a sequence full of pockets. At this point, I am holding the pockets, and then the next hold is on a big volume. The clip is right by the volume, but I can't reach the volume or the clip. I try and assess what I need to do, and the only thing I can come up with is jumping. I jump, and I miss it. The belay flies off the ground because I am very low down, and the force of me falling off brings her up. I fall again. I feel a little bit sad because the final climb is what determines your position in the competition. I walk off the mat away from the climb and I go straight to my dad. My dad tells me it's okay and that I'll have a better shot next time. My friends congratulate me for my effort. They can see I'm not happy, but they try and hug me to make me feel better, and it works. At the end of the day, once all the climbing is finished, we have the prize giving. I'm feeling pretty good about my all-round performance. I'm happy about my first climb and a second climb. My third climb I'm a bit disappointed about.
17 girls. We have Alyssa Mayer in second place.
I managed to get second place in under 17 girls. I feel good about my placement since it's only my first year in under 17. Because I came second, it means that I qualify for nationals. Qualifying for nationals was my goal for the competition.
Congratulations, Alyssa. Well done on placing second in your class. Nationals, here you come. Show them what you got, girl. Next week, we meet 14-year-old surfer Nathan Perry's, who'll be competing in the Interclub Surfing Competition out in the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. You don't want to miss this one. In the meantime, check out our Facebook page for more news and views.